How to add a product configurator to your Shopify store. And I mean a product configurator like the one that Nike by You has, where you can go in and can change the colors of parts of your product. You can go in and can add custom text to that product. You can add a custom logo, and you can even charge differently based on the configurations that have been done. So if you're on Shopify and you are interested in real product customization, you want to offer real product customization to your customers, this video might be for you. So if you're interested, let's jump right in. So when you think about customizing a product on a Shopify store, usually you get this, you get the product and you get the variants that might be color variants, size variants, and so on. So in this case, I have this jacket that looks like this, and it has these two variants. So I have it in green and I have it in burgundy, and they look like this. But I cannot go further and customize this product. I can choose the variant that I want. I can say that this is customization because I chose the red one and this is my size. But this is all I get with the out-of-the-box functionality of Shopify. But imagine you're working at a school that has a football team that needs jackets exactly like this, but in different colors, obviously, because they have their own colors. You only offer these two options. That bulk order can mean a lot of money that you lose because you cannot offer that level of customization. And if you look online, you're going to find different types of solutions for this, one of which is to add some custom fields in there. So for example, you can add a text field for the name of the player, then a text field for the number, then a file field. So let me go to the code editor and I'm going to turn on the custom fields. So I've added in here inside the theme, I've added a bunch of custom fields, which will allow me to display options on the product page, options that the customer can fill in to get their custom product. And those options look something like this. Let me refresh the page. So now instead of the default layout, I'm going to get this extra field where I have the custom back name. And this is meant to represent this here. You can add the name for that player. So if I go here and I say Johnny, and then I say Johnny has number 12. So the customer has to go and imagine the changes on the product. He cannot actually see the changes happening there. And the same goes for the logo. If the customer goes and uploads a new logo to the product, they won't be able to see and visualize the logo on the product before they buy it. So they will just have to trust that things will look good. And there is another problem if there are options on the product that don't work with each other. For example, if the product has a name and the number cannot work with also a logo, because on the back of the product you can have either the name and the number or the logo. So if the customer goes and they upload a logo and they add the name and a number, you won't know what you have to do. So if you get an order that has the name and the number and the logo, you would have to contact that customer and explain them the options and then make them choose one or the other, which is a lot of hassle. This is a messy way of doing things. So instead of that, I would rather have something that Nike has on their product page. And I know Nike is like a huge company that has a lot of budget for these things, but I'm going to show you anyways. So if you go to the Nike's page, on some of the products, you're going to find this button here that says customize. And if I click on it, I'm sent to a customizer, which has a bunch of steps that allow me to change things about these shoes and make them exactly like I want them. Like for example, in this first step, I can change the toe and tongue, which I can make yellow, or I can make pink. I'm going to leave it to yellow, and if I change to the next step, I can go and I can change the accent, which I can make black or brown, whatever I think looks better for me, because it's Nike by You and they have 12 of these steps. I can go and I can really customize these products to make them mine, and we can actually install something similar on our Shopify stores, a product configurator like this that will allow the customer to actually customize their products. And the solution I'm talking about is named Kickflip, and this is the apps page. They have a similar approach where they have this customize button. If you click that button, you're gonna have this configurator pop up and you're gonna have the options right here. Let's just choose this one, and if I go lower, I can change different things about this controller. I can change the color of certain parts like the buttons right there. I can change the colors of these buttons right here. I can change a lot of things, so I can actually customize a product to my liking and I can make it unique for me. And I'm pretty sure that if a customer goes and actually customizes a product like this, I mean, they take all the steps and they choose what they like, there is a much higher chance that the customer would actually purchase this product than if you would just place a default controller in front of them. I'm pretty sure that they would prefer to buy something that they've created in their own vision. So starting from my example where we have this jacket over here and we want to have an option to change maybe the base color, the sleeves colors and other elements of the jacket. And then we want to add a name in the back, and then we want to add a logo on the back, maybe depending on what the customer wants. With Kickflip, we can have something like this, where you can have a builder for the same jacket, where the customer can go and they can build the jacket that they want with the colors they want. So for example, this is the base color. We can change that to green, and we can go lower. The sleeves can be pink, but I think beige is better. The stretch band can stay beige, and the stretch band design can be with a line in it so that we have that line over there. Then in here we can go and we can change that to a different color. If we want, we can make it white, for example. Then the pocket colors can be white as well. And I think this also looks nice. Now the inside can be white as well, or we can make it gray, but I think the beige color is a bit better. And the button colors can be gold if we want, or orange. Anything that the coach wants, they can get in here from the options that we are setting. And then if the coach wants to add a name and a number, they can go and they can select this and they immediately see how that looks like. You can add here options to change the color of the text. You can add option to change the color of the number. Then if they want to add a logo on the back, they can just select logo. And then you're gonna have like a print area where you can adjust your logo on. You see that it's already placed perfectly on the back, but you can go ahead and adjust it if you want. You can make it smaller, bigger. It gives you actually a lot of flexibility to build a product like this. And when you're done, you can go and you can preview your changes and you can have a look at the product as you've designed it, and you can zoom in and decide if you want to keep it as it is or you want to change anything. You can see how this is a much better experience than the basic Shopify functionality. So let me go and let me show you how you can have one of these products set up on your store. In order to do that, you're gonna go and you're gonna install the Kickflip app to your store. You're gonna find a link in the description, or you can search for it because they are easy to find. And once you've done that, you're gonna see this dashboard. And they have here some instructions for you. So you're gonna install the app and then you're gonna select the theme. And when selecting the theme, you're gonna be prompted with these two options. You're gonna have the book-like option, which looks like this, and the one that I've also used and shown earlier. And the other one is named Bare Bones, and it looks something like this. So you will have to choose the one that you like most. So in my case, I'm gonna select the book-like one, and this is what I'm going to use on my store. And after choosing your theme, you're going to see this customizer. This allows you to customize how the product customizer looks like. So you're going to be able to change the fonts, how this sections look like, and so on. So you can go in here and customize everything you need. But let's go back and let's actually create a product. So I'm just going to click on this button over here, and I'm going to add a new product, which I'm going to name here Custom Jacket. Right, so we have custom jacket over here, and here is where we can build that product configurator. But before I do that, I want to explain how things work. So for example, if you have a store that sells hoodies like this, and your hoodies have different types of customizations. For example, this hoodie has these elements here like that on the sides and in the middle. So all these panels could potentially have different colors. So this too can have different color than this over here. So in order to give your customer the option to add different colors to all these elements your product has, you will have to split this image into multiple elements. And let me show you how that looks like with this jacket, which I have all the elements split already. So as you can see here, we have all the elements of the jacket. We have the inside. If I turn this off, that becomes invisible. If I go and I select the base layer, which is this one over here, if I turn it off, it becomes invisible. And this is Photoshop, by the way. I can go and I can add color to just this layer so that you can see how that looks like. So if I go here in adjustments and in hue and saturation, I can go and colorize it, and I can add actually a tint. so or a color to this element, and you can see it is separate from the sleeves and it is separate from the other elements the jacket has. So this is what you actually have to do. You would have to split this image that you have, this PNG file that it is right here, into the different panels that this product has, and then we will need those segments so that we can upload them to the Kickflip app. So in my case, I have all these elements already on different layers, and I can go and I can start building the product inside the customizer. And the first thing we will have to do is go and add the number of views that we have, and that means that if you have images from the front, maybe you have images from the back of your product, and that images from the back are the second view. If you have images from the side, then this can be the third view, and so on. So in my case, I'm going to add just front and back. So to do that, I'm going to go here in the dashboard to settings, and I'm going to add in here a new view, so product views, and I'm going to add 2 of them. So that is done. I'm going to name my customizer, and I'm going to say bomber jacket, and then I'm going to go back here. And in order to start building up this product, I'm going to go here and I'm going to add in behind the scenes. I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to say I'm going to add here an image, and I'm going to create. This will add the first element of my jacket, and I'm going to name it base. And in here where you have image answers, you're going to click on that and you're going to add your images. So first the base image from the front and then the base image from the back. I'm going to choose the front side. So I have here the base front, which looks something like this. And I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to look inside that folder for the back version, which looks something like this. And I'm going to select that. And now I have the front and the back of the base of this jacket. As you can see, we already have a view there. So if I hit done, I have the first view here, and then I have the second view over here. Okay, now I'm going to go and I'm going to add the sleeves of the jacket. So I'm going to click on this as well, and I'm going to add image, and I'm going to click on create. In here, I'm going to say sleeves, and I am going to click on this button and upload the preview image of the sleeves from the front first. So I'm going to select front and select the sleeves. Then I'm going to add the view number 2, which are the sleeves from the back. So back and sleeves. And make sure you have all these layers prepared before you start. Once that's done, you can click on done, and you can see already the jacket taking shape. So we have the base and we have the sleeves. I'm going to go and I'm going to upload the rest of the images because it's kind of the same thing, and we can take it from there. Okay, after uploading all the PNG files, I have now my layers and the jacket looks like this. And the next step is to actually add questions for customers. So for example, do you want this base part of the jacket in a certain color? And to do that, I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on questions and add one question from over here. And I'm going to add a thumbnail question like that. As you can see, you have multiple options in there. I'm going to add the thumbnail because I want the swatches so that I can add different types of colors. So I'm going to click on thumbnail, and then I'm going to select color over here. And I'm going to click create. So as you can see, the question already appeared here, and I can go here and I can rename it. I can name this base color, and underneath I can go and I can add multiple options. So I'm going to click on that, and instead of adding just white, because I have a white option, I'm going to add a slight variation from white so that the white swatch actually stands out from the rest of the page. So I'm going to name this white. Then I'm going to click on done. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to add another one that I'm going to name green, and I'm going to paste the hex code here. But if you want, you can drag this around and you can find the right shade for you. And then I'm going to add one more. I'm going to name this beige, and I'm going to add the hex code in there. Of course, you can go ahead and you can add much more colors if you support those colors on your product. And in order for them to actually work and change the base color of this product, you will have to go down below here in display type and apply on and click on this image question. and find in this list the layer that you want these colors to apply to, and in my case is the base color right over here. And now if I go and I click these, they will change the color of the base of this jacket. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna add another question. So I'm gonna select the thumbnail type and then the color type here, and I'm gonna click on create. I'm gonna name this into sleeves color. And now you can go and you can create your answers depending on what colors you're supporting for your sleeves. You can add them from here one by one, or you can import from the base. So if you're supporting the same colors for your sleeves as for your base, you can just click on this button over here and you're gonna see the options that you've just created. So you can select them and just import them to this part over here. Make sure that you don't have duplicates like this one, for example, I'm going to remove. And now if I go down below and I say that I want to apply this to the sleeves, I'll be able to switch in between the colors of the sleeves as I was able to switch between the colors of the base. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to add the rest of the color questions because it's kind of the same process. Okay, now we have all the swatches working, so I can change the base color, I can change the sleeves, I can change the stretch band color, I can change the pockets, I can change the inside color, and I can change the buttons colors. So everything works in terms of colors. The only problem is that everything looks the same. So if you look at the swatches, they look as colors, solid colors, and they don't look like fabric. And I would like to have the fabric in there as well. So I have the patterns that I have to upload, and I'm going to start with the buttons. I want to add that shine type of look of a button because these are metal buttons. So I have these 3 buttons and I want to display something like this on top. All I have to do is go and select the color. So I can go to my question here, button color. And because I've imported these colors from the options I had above, they actually are the same. So if I now change this, if I add a thumbnail to this one will change as well. So I'm going to go and I'm going to do that so that I'm just showing you that. I'm going to go to colors and buttons and I'm going to select the burgundy and I'm going to upload it in that option. And as you can see, all of them changed and I don't want that. So I'm going to remove this from here. Because this color has been reused, I want to remove these 3 options that I've imported from above and create them again so that they are alone. They are not linked to other colors in my palette here. So I'm going to remove them all and I'm going to add them again. So I'm going to add new color, burgundy. And you can even name them the same, but I'm going to add burgundy button and I'm going to click create. I'm going to add then the green button and I'm going to add the hex color in there. I'm going to click on create and I'm going to add the silver color. And these are the colors, and I've added button at the end just to show you that it's a different color, but you don't have to actually add button at the end because this would look strange. So now if I go to burgundy and I go here and I add a thumbnail and I select that burgundy button design, is going to replace my swatch and it's going to look nicer. And the same with the other ones, I can just go and I can add their thumbnails and they will look much better. So I'm going to upload them all. And now I have a different look for this swatches over here. And I want to do the same for the inside color because I have thumbnails for those as well. So I'm going to click on this option over here and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to remove these colors because these were imported from the other ones. I want to create unique colors even though they will be named the same. So I'm going to remove this and remove this and I'm going to add them again. So I'm going to add my color. And now I can also add the thumbnail for it. So I'm going to add in here the inside thumbnail for those. So inside white. So here I have this satin type of look, and this will replace the just solid color type of swatch. Now we have the white version, which kind of looks like what we have in the picture there. And we can click create here, and I can add one more color, and I'm going to add the hex color in here and upload the thumbnail for beige. And that will change the thumbnail for this as well. So I can click on create. And now I can go ahead and I can do the same for the rest. I can add texture. So if I go to either of these questions, let's go to the base color and let's go to white. I can edit white from here, and I can add the thumbnail for the fabric. So I have it right here. I'm going to open that up. And that will replace all the white colors that were reused from before. So I can go to green now and do the same. If I upload thumbnail with green, I can display that swatch looking as a green fabric, and it's going to display on all the options. The same for burgundy and the same for beige. So I'm going to select the beige thumbnail so that I can show texture here as well. Once that's done, we have texture on all the options here. So if I zoom in, we have texture for white and it looks like that. We have the sleeves texture and it looks like that. Then the stretch band and the pockets change color. Then we have the inside, which can be changed to white or beige. And then we have the buttons, which change to green, beige, and silver. Now I would want to ask the customer if they want to have an accent color on their stretch band. And to do that, I'm going to add another question, and I'm going to select the thumbnail type. And then I'm going to select this one over here. I'm going to give them two options. So a line or no line at all. So I'm going to create. And I'm going to add two options here, simple or double. So I'm going to name this option simple, and I'm going to upload a thumbnail for that. So simple would mean no accent color, and I'm going to hit done. And then I'm going to add one more, and in here I'm going to say double, and I'm going to upload the other one that I have there. So the thumbnail for the double, which looks like that. And these are the options the customer actually has. So I'm going to rename this to stretch band design, and they can select either one or the other. And next I'm going to actually give the options for the accent color. So I'm going to go in here, select thumbnail, and then select color, because I want the customer to be able to select the accent color by himself. So I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to import the colors. So I'm going to import white, green, burgundy, and beige, the ones that were initially there. So I'm going to import them, and then I'm going to remove this untitled one so I don't show an extra white in there. And I'm going to rename this to stretch band accent color. And I'm going to apply these colors to the layer named stretch band accent. And now if I go and I change the color, the accent should change on the jacket, but it doesn't. And I think that's because I've layered the images incorrect. So if I go to layers here, I should see that this should be on top of the stretch band. So if I drag it like that, yeah, this was a problem. And now I have the accent band also changing colors. And now because I add this stretch band design option before, I would like the customer to be able to add this line on the jacket or remove it when they click on this one over here. And to do that, we're going to do something more advanced. So I'm going to go to the logic tab here. And inside here, you can create logic to show or hide certain things in certain scenarios. So I'm going to add a rule here saying that whenever the question name is stretch band design, I'm going to look for that. So stretch band design. Whenever stretch band design is simple, that means that we don't have that accent. Then question, I'm going to find the accent. So stretch band color accent should be unavailable. So that means that it's not going to show at all. So I'm going to add that. Okay, so I've added two rules. Whenever the stretch band design is simple, the stretch band accent color should not be available. So the option, the swatches, should not be available. And then the actual line layer should not be available either. So if I go now to the customizer, whenever the option is simple, there is no line on the stretch band. Whenever I go and add double, the line appears, and then the color options appear at the bottom. If I go to simple again, the line will disappear and the color options disappear as well. You see how much flexibility this actually gives you. Okay, so this already looks cool, looks professional, but we can still do things to it, like we can allow the customer to add a logo over here. and we can add a number and a name on the back. So to do that, I'm going to first add a new question, and I'm going to ask the customer if they want to add a file with that logo. So I'm going to allow them to upload a file. I'm going to create, and you can see the logo area here. If you need to adjust it, you can adjust it and move it like that. So I'm going to move it on the right here like that. I'm going to just rename it into team logo. And now the customer has the option to add their logo. So if I go and I upload a logo in there, it's going to get displayed in that area. It's going to show like that. So on the back, we don't have anything yet, but I'm going to go and I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller because I think that's too big, and I'm going to leave it as it is. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to add a number and a name on the back. And to do that, I'm going to add another question on the view number 2. So I switch to view number 2. And I'm going to add now a text input, and I'm going to click on text here, and I'm going to create. So this is the text on the view number 2. You can name this player name, and then in here you can add a placeholder like Johnson. And because I want to show this on the view number 2, I'm going to go here at the top and select the view number 2. And now I can see here the name is small, and I can click it, and I can also move it at the top, and I can change here the color. I can make it white, and then the font size, let's say 80 or even more. You have here all sorts of fonts that you can choose from. So I'm going to leave it as this one over here. And this is how it looks like. Now I can go and I can add one more text question to add the number. So I'm going to click on text input and then text. I'm going to create that. And again, don't forget to choose the view number 2 so that you can see whatever it's in there. So I'm going to add in here number 12, and I am going to go again to font here and select the font that we just used before. Once the font is selected, we can change the color again, and we can go and make it as large as we need. So I'm going to make it like that. And to allow it to grow a little bit more, we can go and we can enlarge the area where the font actually is. And when you have the size right, you can just leave it as it is, and then you can just click on this checkbox, and you can go and you can adjust it some more if you need. This is the number and the name on the back. So if someone goes and adds this information in here, it's going to display something similar. So this is how the jacket looks by default. I will go and I will change the default value so that it doesn't have this white look, but the name and the number is on the back. And we have here the option. So if I go and I say here, John, it's going to replace that with John, and I can change here the number to 15 or whatever number you want to add. And I'm going to change now the default values for the colors of the jacket. So I'm going to say that the base will be green, set as default. Then I'm going to go to sleeves, and I'm going to make the sleeves beige as default. Then stretch band color will be beige as default as well. The inside color is going to be beige. Then I want the buttons to be silver. Then the stretch band accent should be green by default. And now if I go and I refresh the page here, I will see that the product took all the default values that I've gave it, and it actually looks awesome, right? So I have my logo in front. Now I can add here Chris, and my number should be 14, and this is my jacket. Look at that. Okay, we added a lot of customization to this product already, and we could add some more because there are a lot of options. We can add a drop down with sizes, we can add radio buttons with other options and so forth. But one that is really nice to have is this bulk order option, and that allows someone like a coach, for example, if they want to order like 12, 15 of these jackets for the sports team, they can go ahead and they can do that. So I'm going to add this to my product as well. And I'm going to drag inside here the customizations I want to be able to multiply. In this case, we're going to add the player number and the player name. And now the player name and player number are inside the bulk order option. And that means that the coach would not have to go and recreate this design over and over again for each of the 15 products that they want to order. So because I've added this input here, this too can be multiplied and applied to different products. Now if I go and I preview that product, I can go at the bottom and I see here that I can add multiples of this. So I can go ahead and add another item and so on. So item number 2, item number 3, and I can order like 15 of them with just adding the name and the number, which is awesome. So now that I have my product, how can I actually connect it to my Shopify store? In order to do that, I'm going to go back to the dashboard here and I'm going to go to the Connect tab at the top here. Now the store was connected with Kickflip and all I have to do is go back to Build, and inside Build, I will have to go and click on Publish so that I can publish this product that I just created. So after I publish, the product was sent to my store, but it's not available for purchase yet. If I go here and I manage sales channels, I can go ahead and select the sales channels that I have available. So in my case, I'm gonna make it available for the online store and I'm gonna click on Done and then on Save. And now if I go back to Kickflip and I look here, I can see that the check mark becomes green and that means that the product should be available on my store. You may want to also check the pricing tab here because you have the option of adding the base price and then adding extra prices for the options that you've added. Whenever someone chooses to add a name and a number, you would charge more and so on. So if you want that kind of pricing, you can set it up in here. You can add the base pricing in here. Let's say $200 and you can save. This information will be sent to the product listing and it will be reflected in there. So let's go and check out the product. Now this is the product listing and if I go and I preview it, I should see the builder already, but I don't have it. And that is because I have to integrate the app with my theme. And to do that, I'm going to go to my theme customizer because I have to turn on the Kickflip integration and you can find it here in app embeds. You can go ahead and turn it on and I can save it now. I already see the customize button which replaced the add to cart button, and now in order to add to cart I will have to click on this and it's going to open the customizer and I can go through the options here and I can add the product to cart. So let's go and let's customize one jacket. I'm going to change everything from green to burgundy because I like that combination too. So whatever elements I have with green, I'm going to make them burgundy. Yeah, and this looks also great. I'm going to add a logo again, add the logo in there, and then I'm going to add just one item. As you can see, I can order multiple, but I'm going to say Chris in here and number 14. If I change the view, I can see the jacket from the back and I can add this jacket to cart. And here it is, the product is inside the cart. I think you can do a lot of things with this app. I highly recommend it, and if you want to try it out, you have a link in the description. Okay, now that you know how to add product customization to your Shopify store, I think you'll be interested in seeing this video next. Click it and I'll see you there.